If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and the iHeartRadio app. And I am a big proponent of free wisdom. Well, what do you mean free wisdom? Free wisdom is the stuff that you can use in your own life today, and you didn't have to pay the price of making bad decisions to earn it. Usually wisdom is real expensive. The things that we've learned across the years of life, what to do in relationships, what to do on the job, what not to do, how to stay out of jail. A lot of time, that wisdom is very, very expensive. Like, for example, my wisdom of how not to act at an amusement park like Disneyland, that was very expensive. That was a very expensive lesson. I told you about that, getting kicked out of Disneyland. But it's something which informed my future behavior and actions. Sometimes you can just look at other people and look at their decision making, and you can gather what you should and should not do. That's what I call free wisdom. And hopefully everyone is taking a closer look, an examination of radio, television, and internet media podcast personality Shannon Sharpe. Well, we need to take TV out of his name right now, because he was just let go at ESPN after settling the sexual assault lawsuit. Settling. It wasn't like he was found guilty of some crime. It wasn't like there was some judgment, a court judgment, which was made against him. He merely, and I say this in a general sense, merely settled a sexual assault lawsuit against him. Here's what most people don't know. Even though he settled, ESPN, which is basically Disney, major corporations, they always do their own investigations. They will come to their own determination of what they are or are not dealing with. Even though we as the public may not know the terms of the settlement, even though it's rumored at $23 million. Damn, $23 million. We don't know the exact amount, but we do know it's substantial. ESPN most likely did their own due diligence, and they probably found some things which were very unsettling to them, or they were deal breakers, pun intended, and did not want to go forward with Shannon Sharpe, one of their featured commentators. This is free wisdom. These are the things that you can take in your own life, and you may not be a sports commentator. You may not be someone as popular or famous, as well known as Shannon Sharpe, but you can learn something from his situation. You can think, well, he wasn't a married man. What he does in his private life is his business. Not so fast. In the 21st century, when you are representing these large corporations, and that would include someone like me, that would include someone like Mark, that would include someone like Tual. We represent KFI, we represent iHeartMedia. We need not be found guilty of a crime. We can just have a very, very embarrassing situation which brings infamy on this company or on this brand, and we can be fired. In some contracts, they call that a morals clause. And in other contracts, it's like an infamy clause. But you don't need to be guilty of something in a criminal sense to lose your job. And that's what we're seeing here with Shannon Sharpe. NFL Hall of Famer. He was a commentator on ESPN's First Take. He was accused of sexual assault by an ex-girlfriend. If you remember, Shannon Sharpe took it upon himself to out the name of his accuser and release text messages at the very beginning. And most people will tell you that was the worst thing to do. One, you don't out victims or alleged victims. You don't ever do that. And also, once you put text messages out there, you are adding fuel to the fire for the case. You're actually making it more likely that you're going to be successfully sued for defamation because you use the alleged victim's actual name. And he was facing a $50 million lawsuit from just one person. Shannon Sharpe, if you remember, decided to step aside and handle this. So he stepped away from his duties at ESPN after the resolution of this lawsuit, not admitting any type of fault, no public disclosure of the amount involved. He was still let go from ESPN. The takeaway for you, for me, for everyone is, and I hear it all the time, and I read it all the time on social media. They say, like, well, what difference does it make if he was on his own personal time? Why does his personal life matter? He didn't commit any crime, and you need to take this free wisdom. If you are engaging in behavior which is either embarrassing to your parent company or your employer, you most likely will be fired or let go. It's not like you're working the fries at McDonald's. Sorry. No disrespect. You're working the fries at McDonald's and you get on the internet and you say something stupid on social media. You don't have that level of visibility. So you can get away with more than me or Mark Ronner or Tawala, because I don't know how many times I say something on social media and the first thing they try to do is run and tell KFI or iHeartMedia, did you see what Mo said? And then what I'll do is I'll say, you're damn right I said it. Because I've already made the calculation in my mind as far as what I can and can't do. Oh, and this actually goes back to Mark. You always say you enjoy my arguments on social media.
At Mr. Mo Kelly.
Right.
Yes.
And part of that is, and people say like, well, Mo, why do you have so many rules with how you engage people? And this kind of relates to Shannon Sharpe. And I'll explain it this way. There are things that random trolls can say to me, and they do say to me all the time, that I cannot return fire. That's just a fact. You know, you can use all sorts of profanity, name calling, racism, whatever. I cannot respond in kind. Not that I want to. I'm just saying there's a line, there's a limit. Why? Because even though I may be on my own personal time, even though I may be on my own personal social media, because none of my social media is connected to KFI. All of that precedes KFI. So it's just me on my personal social media. If I say the wrong thing, and you've been trying to goad me for 13 years to say the wrong thing, I can be fired. It's just that simple. So I do not allow conversations to go beyond a certain point. That's why I say if you would like to discuss the subject of the show, all good. If you want to take issue with me and something I said and you can do it in a respectful way, absolutely. But I'm not going to get into a personal insult match with you. I mean, it's not going to be a match. I'm just going to walk over you and then block you.
Always entertaining.
No, it is entertaining. I have to get something out of it. And I know people want to say, Mo, you said such and such and such. Block. You know, I have to agree with Mark. You're just a big fat block. Because I'm not going to end up like Shannon Sharpe, if at all possible. That's the point. There are things that I can and cannot do. Shannon Sharpe went too far with the things he can and can't do. And if you get sued for sexual assault, I'm not saying it's fair, but it's a fact. It's not even about whether he was guilty of sexual assault. It's the fact that he's dragging the name of ESPN through the mud in the process. And so that can be grounds for separation. The free wisdom is learn from that. And don't think that just because you're on your free time or you're at home and it's 2 a.m. and you're just on social media that you can't suffer the same fate as Shannon Sharpe. Free wisdom. You can take it or leave it. You don't even have to pay for it. But it's better that you understand what happened to Shannon Sharpe so it doesn't happen to you, even if it's on a smaller level. You can get fired real quick for doing something real stupid in an instant. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. And yes, I will block you in a heartbeat. I get enjoyment out of it. In fact, it turns me on. It's like, whoo, block. Whoo, another block.
That's at Mr.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
Mo Kelly.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Mr. Mo Kelly, he warns us all. Says autonomous vehicles might be our downfall. But then Tuwala comes on and claims it's all under control. He says Mo Kelly is wrong, but Mo thinks he's on the payroll of Waymo. 'Cause Waymo be bad, run you over. Waymo be bad, run over grand. Waymo be bad, run you over. Waymo be bad, the end of us all.
KFI, Later with Mo Kelly, live on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app. And Waymo, and we've talked about Waymo for quite some time. Waymo wants to help out Dallas, the city of Dallas, as they explained it. You may not know this. We were talking about traffic a few segments ago. Well, if you didn't know, Dallas is a city with the highest traffic fatality rate in the nation among cities with more than 1 million people. Dallas. Waymo put forth a plan specifically to the city of Dallas, positioning it as a way to help traffic safety. But I also see it as this. It is most definitely a gauntlet being thrown down in the backyard of Tesla CEO Elon Musk. We know that Tesla, they're trying to do their own robo-taxis. We know that Elon Musk has been publicly talking mess against Waymo. So this is basically saying, yes, we're going to do it in your own backyard, and you're going to see us take all of your market share before you can even get your own robo-taxis off the ground.
Waymo says its robo-taxis currently provide more than 250,000 paid trips per week in the cities where they operate.
How do you define safety?
An informational video highlights how they're designed to prevent accidents while protecting both passengers and pedestrians. But still, Dallas driver Devin Downey, who owns a Tesla, says he's a little nervous about this, especially after testing out his own car's self-driving feature.
I thought it was really scary. Like, my son loved it. He thought it was really cool. But for me, it just felt like the car was somewhat out of control and making decisions that I wouldn't have made as a driver.
Whenever like a new technology is released, everyone is going to feel scared or is not going to feel like secure enough. That's socially accepted just to be a little scared, but with the time it'll be okay.
When Waymo launches here in Dallas, you'll be able to book a ride through their app. The company is partnering with Avis to manage its fleet and the maintenance.
No, that's smart. That is smart.
Yeah.
That's really smart. And pretty soon you could see how you'll be just renting a Waymo. You won't be renting an Avis rent-a-car. That's how you get the general public accustomed to using these autonomous vehicles everywhere.
Waymo says there's an opportunity to support the city of Dallas's Vision Zero goals, aimed at eliminating all traffic-related deaths and reducing severe injury crashes by 50% by 2030. In a statement, Dallas City Manager Kimberly Tolbert says the Waymo and Avis partnership will offer an innovative technology-based transportation option for our residents and visitors.
Okay, so there it is. Waymo is obviously trying to say, hey, we're going to position this as a safer alternative to not only you driving, but also these other robo-taxis, which may be in the market.
And Dallas public office is also, and local government is also saying, we agree with this. We have seen what you're capable of. We have also seen lots of unsuccessful Tesla self-driving car rollout. here in Dallas. We've seen what they were doing in Vegas. Tesla's still struggling a little bit. You're already there.
Yeah, I think Tesla is the jokes that we make about Waymo. Tesla is the one, their robotaxis are genuinely not ready for prime time.
No, they're not. They're not. Some of the stuff that Teslas have literally, there have been videos
this is some dangerous
going over curbs.
Going the wrong way down streets.
They've been crazy. Their rollout is like, you're supposed to start small, like maybe a few city blocks somewhere, not all over Vegas, not all over.
Yeah.
Y'all are doing too much. And they're giving, and Waymos are just driving by like, I can't believe that robocar.
So next year, we will have Dallas, assuming everything goes smoothly, Phoenix, San Francisco, here in LA, Austin, Atlanta, and then also Miami and Washington, D.C. next year. That, to me, as an outsider, would be the make or break year, because you would be in high use, a number of major metropolitan areas. And if you can handle that, then you could probably handle it anywhere.
I think Waymo is really showing improving, especially because I've had several trips to the airport recently, and all around LAX, there are almost more Waymos than there are actual cars on the road. It's ridiculous how many Waymos are near the airport, and all that traffic and congestion right around LAX. I'm surprised that there are so many Waymos, not a lot of Ubers or anything else, just Waymos out there.
Now, that's something that I wonder then at LAX, were they going to the rideshare area to pick up people, or
they were going over? I saw them going to where
or the terminals,
not the terminals, but where you can go and get a bus and get a bus to somewhere. So like say, or to like where the parking lots are. I saw them over near there. I didn't see any close to the airport, like maybe right a block before Over Century is the furthest I saw them going.
Okay, so they're not actually going to the rideshare area. They're not going to the terminal.
No.
Okay.
No, didn't see them there. But the close, I saw people literally getting them even at some of the hotels. I'm like, they're pulling into that hotel lot there to get somebody. That's very interesting to me that people near the airport are like basically coming in and grabbing a Waymo.
Yeah, because I don't think that's going to change, because if they haven't allowed us to pick up people up from the actual terminals, I can't imagine they're going to let Waymo do it or Tesla do it.
But that's an agreement with the cab companies, isn't it?
I think so. Like, that's the one thing that they haven't relented on. So I think it's just going to be a matter of time when the people mover happens and where the new drop-offs and pickups are going to be after that. That's going to change it, I'm sure.
Yeah. All I know is taxis, you're getting ready to go out of business. Conventional taxis, and Uber drivers, you might be next.
Maybe.
I'm Ron Burgundy. KFI AM 640. When we come back, we have to tell you about Wendy's and Wednesday, how they're teaming up.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly here. We're still live everywhere on social media and the iHeartRadio app. And I got to be honest, I'm not a real fan of the Addams Family. Never have been. It was never funny to me. The only thing I enjoyed about the Addams Family was the opening theme.
Did you see much of the old one, the black and white one with John Aston?
That's the only thing I even really cared about. I never developed an affinity for the original show. I didn't like the Addams Family. I didn't like the Munsters.
Well, the Addams Family was much more for grown-ups than the Munsters was, because you realize when you watch it as an adult, the whole show is about Gomez and Morticia wanting to get it on. That's it.
I'll take your word for it, because I didn't watch either show. Was I familiar with them? Yes. Did I care for either of them? No. In my mind, they were pretty much the same show. I know they weren't until I was going to come here with this judgmental look like, you weren't a fan of the Addams Family?
No. I did not like the Addams Family, any of the new iterations. That was a show that was like on my click turn off. My look on my face was because Carnicia over here, who hasn't seen anything, was like, yes. When you said Addams Family, I'm like, wait. How you know about the Addams Family, but you don't know about the Honeymoon?
And I'm not even talking about the movies.
No,
okay,
we're
with
talking
Raul
about the old
Julia.
school.
No, I'm talking about the TV show.
She said we're talking about yes.
I never.
What?
And I didn't even watch the movie. So in other words,
They weren't bad, honestly.
Oh,
Right.
I'll take your word for it.
What is happening, Mark?
I'll take your word for it. But all I do know is because I had no interest in the original TV show or the movies of the 90s, I definitely didn't have any interest in the Netflix show Wednesday. It was a long way to get there, but that's why I was saying. The only thing I liked about the Addams Family was the music.
Did you watch that show, Mark? The Wednesday thing?
I wasn't so much into Wednesday. I didn't get through the first season.
That's the best part of the show I did not watch.
You're missing
All right,
out.
sing along.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky, the Addams Family. Their house is a museum. When people come to see them, they really are a scream. The Addams
scream?
Family.
Big stretch.
Bit of a stretch there.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Okay, the reason we're talking about this, the show Wednesday, which is on Netflix, they're getting ready to drop the second season. And they've teamed up with our favorite fast food place, Wendy's. And they have what they call rested 10-piece nuggets, this new menu, cursed and crispy fries, dips of dread, mystery sauces, and Raven's Blood Frosty. And the theme meal launches August 6th, ahead of season 2.
Okay.
And the meal will be available starting August 4th here in the U.S. In fact, there'll be a Wednesday themed drive-through experience here in the Southland at the Wendy's in Norwalk, which is 12138 Imperial Highway, as of tomorrow. And it'll be open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Mystery sauce makes me a little uncomfortable.
Maybe a Garagos will bring us some.
We've already reached out.
Okay.
We've already reached out. Yes.
We've reached out to Ed. I am down with Wendy's food. And to me, I don't care if Wendy's wants to partner with Wendy's, you partner with whoever you want to. Your food is always quality.
Always good,
That's
man.
right.
So
always
that
welcome
part,
here in this
I'm
studio.
not mad. Yes.
You're always welcome to bring Wendy's food here.
Preach.
A lot of it.
Ed, if you want to bring a Wednesday Addams dress up person, like a person dressed up as Wednesday,
dress up?
have them come in here.
Sounds kinda kinky.
They can bring the food. I just personally, look, I agree with Mo. I didn't like the Munsters.
No,
I didn't like that. To me, I didn't like Beverly Hillbillies. To me, they were literally the same show.
It was because maybe it was the same show block because they were back to back to back or something like that.
Maybe
because they were all in black and white. But I didn't care about any of them. And as beyond the theme, I like the theme to all of those shows.
Yeah,
I had no desire to watch the Beverly Hillbillies. I had no desire to watch the Munsters, even though I like the theme. Kind of James Bondish.
This one kind of slaps.
it does slap.
They've done a lot of trap mixes on this. I've heard it. It works with the drop that beat. Yeah. Great instrumentation. I couldn't tell you about one episode of any of these shows. Not a one. Did you see the what? No. What about the time when? No. When Herman, no. So if you ever hear me say, oh yeah, I remember that episode, I'm lying. I've never seen anyone. Okay. And the Beverly Hillbillies, I don't think I can tell you the name of any of the characters in Beverly Hills.
I know there was
like a Ned or a Jed or something.
There's a grandma. And
Yeah.
then there was a Niecy Poo, I think. I don't know what her name was.
You know more than I do.
I don't know what her name is. I know there was a grandmother and a father, and they were on a wagon.
Jed, a poor mountaineer, barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude.
Oil, that is.
Oil, that is. Black gold, Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. The kinfolk said, Jed, move away from there. Said, California is the place you ought to be. So they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is. Swimming pool.
That's all I know. And you know, and now that I hear that theme again, it might have been the banjo. Might have been the turnoff. Maybe it's just the banjo. A little too close to Deliverance. A little too close. I'm thinking like Appalachia. Okay? It's like, I don't know.
There was never an episode where somebody made Jethro squeal like a pig, I can tell you. Wait, so you didn't watch any of this stuff? Did you watch Gilligan's Island?
A little bit, but not a lot. And the reason I didn't watch a lot of Gilligan's Island because I didn't like shows where I knew they were never going to be successful. Because them getting off the island, which would mean they were basically the end of the show. But let me go back to Beverly Hillbillies real quick. The banjo, it makes me think of Deliverance. It creeps me out anytime I see this scene. Burt Reynolds, Ned Beatty. Too close.
It doesn't slap?
No.
It slaps a cousin.
No. You know, something that I really did like around that time, because that's when I first learned about Burt Reynolds. And it was maybe 2 or 3 years later that my dad took me to see Smokey and the Bandit. And Jerry Reed was in there. You had Burt Reynolds, Jackie Gleason, who Carnicia has no idea who that is or was. Sally Field. But Wendy's and Netflix's Wednesday, they've teamed up in advance of season 2 on Netflix, which is going to drop on August 6th. Again, this new menu will be available starting August 4th here in the U.S. And Carnicia is a huge Wednesday fan, so congratulations.
No, the drop date is my birthday. That's why I'm also excited.
And you got to dance for it, too. I love it. Look, Wednesday is a huge show. Whether or not any of us have seen it. Wednesday is huge. This is a major partnership for Wendy's. Look, I think my daughter has watched the first season, and she's probably looking forward to
She's down the hall. We ought to bring her on the air.
Look, I'll ask her. I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to watch it, but, you know.
Kids like it.
You know,
I don't like the food.
Mark, I'll eat the food. Yeah, I'll eat the food, but I'm just not going to watch the show. I just don't do anything Addams Family. Sorry, just no.
I'm telling you, the old one is really funny.
Tell them, Mark. Tell them.
You didn't see the old one?
Yes, I did. My mom was a big fan of it, so that's why I really liked it. And the like Mark said, Morticia and her husband. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
John is just so romantic, right?
No, that's not exactly the word I'd use. John Astin is a hilarious Gomez, and who played Morticia? Her name. I can't think of her name right away, but she was also in some Batman episodes as well.
Just the lady. Who cares?
What? Okay? Are we going to have a repeat of last night now? Caroline Jones.
Caroline Jones. Yep,
was with Morticia.
Yeah, okay. No one's looking for Caroline Jones.
No. She was a big deal back then. I mean, this is all before our time, but she was a thing, so to speak.
It's later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. Want to go to Costco with Mark, Ronner, and Steph.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
And find out what the hell's going on there.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly. I go to Costco every now and then. And when I do, I go with my wife because she has the membership card. And now they've really clamped down where you have to have your membership card scanned to go into Costco. And if you've ever been to Costco, you go up and down the aisles, invariably there is someone giving away free samples, maybe 3 or 4 different stations. So they'll have free samples of food. And I load up personally. I just look, if it's free, I'm going to taste it. That's all changing. Or at least for Mark, it's going to change. Mark may have some issues. Costco is now requiring children be accompanied by an adult to receive free samples in stores.
That's not unreasonable.
Are you kidding me?
I'm being 100% serious.
Ridiculous.
No. And when I read why, I said, that makes sense. Imagine this. Let's say you're Costco and you're giving out free samples and you give it out to children who may come up. They may be well-behaved, polite and everything. And then you give someone a sample who has a peanut allergy. Then what?
Oh, okay. I think I misunderstood. So the children can't go by themselves.
Correct.
Oh,
Correct.
Okay.
So Mark would have an issue. He would need to be accompanied by an adult.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Put those kids in leashes and muzzles. That's all fine with me. All of them. I don't know when the last time is you've been to a Costco, but the kids there are one of my few complaints about it. Let's just say theoretically you're walking around with a mild hangover and some kids start shrieking at the top of their lungs.
Theoretically, hypothetically.
Theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
No bueno. We don't like that.
I generally don't like badly behaved kids anyhow. And when you're in Costco, there are always 5 or 10 or 15 running up and down the aisles.
I'm not a fan of that.
Always. And I'm thinking where are your parents? This is not an amusement park. When they're running through any grocery store, for example, if you're in Costco, you're most likely looking up because everything is stacked high. Your eye level is not below your cart. And I've almost run over a few children just because I'm not looking for them and they're using it like it's an obstacle course. And sometimes I wanted to catch them with an elbow as they're running by, but then I'm the bad guy.
No court would convict you for that. You'd be fine.
But they got cameras. That's the only problem. Oh. And they'll see I would have put my wing out there intentionally, bah.
Oh, thanks for the tip. I didn't realize that.
They do. Yeah.
Noted for next time.
But at first, my first glance was like, what do you mean you're not going to allow kids to have a sample that are read more? It's like, oh, yeah, that does make sense.
Well, the whole sample area thing, I actually avoid those because those become big clogged arteries when you're trying to get from point A to point B in the store. It's like a zombie converging on some fresh human flesh there. All you want to do is get around the corner, and there's people who are elbowing each other so they can get a little teeny piece of chicken or something. Get out of my way.
What I usually do is, or I should say, since I'm usually with my wife or always with my wife when I'm at Costco, I will be with the cart in one stationary location, usually next to a free sample. And she will go get stuff and bring it back to the cart. Because a lot of times, to your point, Mark, it's hard to maneuver the cart in the various areas. It's easier to just go get stuff and bring it back as opposed to trying to maneuver your cart, especially in the frozen, the freezer section. Mm-hmm. It's way too small for the amount of people are in there. So it's easier to just walk in there as opposed to bringing your cart in there.
Yeah, and the average self-awareness of people at Costco seems to be going down. They don't care what's happening around them. Last time I was in there was a bottleneck going into and out of the dairy area, and some guy was on his way out. Again, it's just one line going in and out. Some guy on the way out decides to slow down, look at his phone, and hunch over his cart and just kind of shuffle along a little at a time. And I finally said, dude, come on. What are you doing?
I will give it to them for this. When you're in line and you have a checker who's checking all your groceries, they're usually pretty fast with it.
The checkers are no nonsense. They're fine.
And they're smart enough, okay, you have 8 of those containers. Let me just leave them on the cart. You don't have to put them off on the belt. We'll count them in there. It just makes sense. They know what they're doing in ways that other grocery stores don't.
And I go there more and more because I swear to God, I can't get through a Ralph's line without realizing at the end that they've messed up and overcharged me for something because of their crappy sale app.
And their scanner. Yeah, absolutely. It's happened to me a number of times.
Literally every single time. There's some mistake and I got to go through the line again. And if I've gone after work, they're like, well, it's 1 a.m. You'll have to come back tomorrow. It's like, I'm not driving back here for a $5 mistake. Thanks.
But that's what they count on.
Exactly.
More likely than not, you're not going to realize the error. And if you do, it's like, well, it's almost like you leave the grocery store and you realize, like, hey, I didn't get my butter and I know I paid for it. Are you going to drive all the way back? Probably not.
No. So when you go to Costco, at least you know what you're paying up front and you don't have to deal with some app that may or may not give you the price you think you're going to get.
Do you have the highest level where you do that special shopping on a Sunday?
No, I'm not at that level in society at this point. I'm just one of the plebes.
But when I say it, you take offense to that.
Do you want to go through the list of things we can and can't call each other, but that we can say about ourselves?
No. Because we have.
You don't want to do that?
We have to go to break.
I think it might be funny for people.
KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.